These are also cousins, Doctors Richard and Rhonda Jones, Salik and Kala Wright, and the family who are here, they're cousins. Deirdre Rigsby is a cousin. Her aunt, Mrs. Evelyn James, is here, and her cousin, Alex James. I'd also like to recognize Gregory Dean, who is the fire and EMS. Well, I'm sorry. Let me hold off and let me start. Before I get to the other special guests, welcome the family to this courthouse and to this occasion. I know that you all have been waiting, and this is such an outstanding occasion for the entire family, and I want to acknowledge all of you, and I've known all of you for a long time, and I know how supportive you have been of Anna over the years, and she will, of course, need your support going forward, but it will be with a lot of love. Let me introduce some other special guests who are here with us today, and I'd like to start by acknowledging the presence of Supreme Court Justice Sonia Sotomayor. Justice Sotomayor, thank you and welcome. I'd also like to acknowledge the presence of Judge David Santel, the former Chief Judge of the United States Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia Circuit, the other judges who are here from the United States Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia Circuit, the judges and magistrate judges from the United States District Court, and I see many of them in the audience today, the judges from the United States Court of Military Appeals, the judges and magistrate judges from the D.C. Superior Court, the District of Columbia Administrative Law Judges from the Office of Administrative Hearing and from other agencies of the District of Columbia government, Dr. Cheryl Bailey, the Deputy Executive Officer. You've met and you heard Ann Wicks, the Executive Officer for the courts, excuse me, Ann. Mr. Castillo, who you've met, the Clerk of the Court of the D.C. Superior Court. James McGinley, the Clerk of the Court, the Clerk of the D.C. Superior Court. I'm going to introduce the Mayor to bring greetings in a second, but I want to acknowledge your presence here now, Mayor Muriel Bowser. Thank you for being here. Council Chair Phil Mendelson from the District of Columbia Council. Councilmember Brandon Todd, Ward 4 Council member, who is both my council member and Judge Blackburne-Rigsby's. The members of the District of Columbia Council who may have come and I did not see. Chief Peter Newsham, the Acting Chief of Police for the District of Columbia. I mentioned Gregory Dean in passing very quickly. From Fire and EMS Chief, welcome. The President of the National Association of Women Judges, Judge Diana Becton. If she's here, we want to welcome her to the courthouse. The former presidents of the National Association of Women Judges, Judge Lisa Walsh from Florida, Judge Julie France from Oregon, and the President-elect, Tanya Kennedy from New York. I want to welcome the National Association of Women Judges Executive Director, Marie Commissar, who I saw earlier today. And I'd like to welcome and hold up a number of members of our armed forces, all of whom are outstanding heroes for this country. General Daniel James, General Kip Ward, General Errol Schwartz, and General Butch Tate. And I'd like to welcome all of them and ask you to help me welcome them to this room. It is typically the case that a biography of the honored chief judge or judge during an investiture is read. Those biographies are available to you. They're as part of your materials, I'm sure, information that's been provided to you. It is not, however, how I would like to proceed today, because I've known Judge-designate Blackburne-Rigsby for many, many years. And I will give you a brief biography while I talk a little bit about her. First of all, Judge Blackburne-Rigsby, a Duke graduate, undergrad, and a Howard Law School, Hustle graduate. And this way it keeps me from, that's right, Howard School of Law. Began her careers as an associate with the law firm of Hogan and Hartson. And I was with the Office of Attorney General at the time and joined the office at Hogan, and Hartson not too long after Anna had arrived, but she was there first. And during our time together there, very short, we had a number of conversations about what she wanted to do with her career. And we used to have internal debates about staying with law firms, going in and out of government. I was one of the partners who had gone in and out of government. One of my colleagues, who I think about all the time, Vinnie Cohen, who had fought so hard to integrate law firms, he argued, stay at the law firm. Stay at the law firm, make a difference to your clients, make money. It'll be a good thing, help the community. It was a strong argument, trust me, because we would be debating these things in front of the associates. But Anna was, from the very beginning, her commitment to public service, her commitment to trying to help others was an overriding desire, goal, purpose of her life. And so it did not surprise me that soon thereafter she left to go to the Office of Attorney General, now used to be Office of Corporation Counsel, where she rose through the ranks, doing exactly what she, in her heart, felt was the right thing to do. And she was trying to do the best she could, not only for her community, but for everybody in the city and everybody with whom she served. And I watched her. And then I was appointed to the bench, and not too long thereafter, to the Superior Court bench, Judge Blackburne-Rigsby was selected to be a magistrate judge, or a hearing commissioner at the time, and came over to the courthouse. And in that position, dealing with was on the front lines, as our magistrate judges are on every day, trying to make sure that people feel comfortable, feel cared about, and have access to the justice they deserve, to the courts, and to a just and fair decision. And we watched her in that position, and then as a magistrate judge, exhibit the kind of compassion for people that I think is critically important for any judicial officer, and she had it in spades. And then she became a Superior Court associate judge. And I left and came to the Court of Appeals. And she served with distinction for many years as a Superior Court associate judge, continuing to do the kind of work and the quality of work that make us all very proud. So then Anna came to the Court of Appeals. Now, I'm not feeling in any kind of way, stalked or anything. I just want you to know. But it's a good thing we were friends, okay? And that I had a great deal. And so as she ascended to the Court of Appeals, she has taken on a great deal of responsibility for some of the most important work that we do in the area of access to justice. Again, in keeping with her commitment not only to serving the community, but to ensuring that the courts are an institution that people can have trust and confidence in. And while I am leaving out a lot of important details about her service on national organizations, as president of the National Organization of Women Judges, as the moderator for the National Consortium on Racial and Ethnic Fairness in the Courts. Those things you will hear about, you will read about, but I wanted you to understand that her ascension to this position came in large part because she exhibited the kinds of feeling and caring for others that make you want to have somebody, to make you want to have that person as a leader. And we have all seen it over the years. And so, Judge Blackburn-Rigsby, we are very proud of you. We are very excited for you, and we certainly look forward to your leadership. Before we go any further, it is my pleasure and honor to welcome the Mayor of the District of Columbia, Mayor Muriel Bowser, to bring greetings.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am very delighted to be here in our highest court for Washington, D.C., and I am very pleased to represent all 681,000 of us who call Washington, D.C. home. I am also happy that I am here with members of all branches of the District of Columbia government. It is my privilege, of course, to be your chief executive and to make sure that we fairly and efficiently execute the laws of the District of Columbia. I am also delighted that we have been joined by our lawmakers and members of our legislative branch, and the council chairman, Phil Mendelson is here. You've heard acknowledged the Ward 4 council member, Brandon Todd, the Ward 5 council member, Kenyon McDuffie, and the Ward 6 council member, Charles Allen. Please give them a hand as well. I'm joined by members of my team, the Chief of Police, my Senior Advisor, Beverly Perry, and my General Counsel, Betsy Cavendish. I think I noticed that our United States Attorney, Channing Phillips, is also here, and with our distinguished judges in our distinguished courts, we execute and enforce the laws of the District of Columbia. Justice Sotomayor, we are so grateful for your presence, not here just to honor our friend, Judge Blackburn-Rigsby, but for your attention to local Washington. So not only have you made sure to welcome us to your own office, but you have delighted us with your presence at our district building, and we're so grateful for your service. I'm not sure if this would be breaching protocol, but for a gentleman distinguished as Eric Washington, I know that we all want to acknowledge 3 outstanding terms as the Chief Justice. Please give me a round of applause. Let me thank the clerk of the court administrators and staff, and the many dedicated volunteers who are making this such a special day for such a deserving jurist. I'm grateful to the Blackburn-Rigsby family for allowing me to participate. I've gotten a chance over the years to know the judges, Rigsby, as I like to call them, to know their families and to know their great regard for the District of Columbia and for public service to the people of the District of Columbia. Judge Rigsby, I hesitate because I always call her Anna, but Judge Blackburn-Rigsby has indeed had an accomplished career in law and public service and has served more than 2 decades on the Superior Court and the Court of Appeals combined. And we're very proud of Anna also for her service to the next generation of lawyers and jurists, including preparing lawyers for tomorrow as a member of the faculty of our law school at the District of Columbia. Anna, of course, is an outstanding leader in so many ways and in so many different venues in the district. In her professional life, serving the nation's female judges, as well as her civic life, leading so many different groups in our own city and in our own ward. I got to know Anna not because she was a judge, but because she lived on a street in Ward 4. And we came to work on a lot of things in the community to make those communities better. I stand here today on a special day with her, as she did with me 10 years ago. when I took the oath of office for the first time as the Ward 4 council member. And I thought then, who could I look to with the Bible in my hand to the air to make sure that I would promise to serve with integrity, promise to deliver on all the things that we promised, and promise to be faithful to our Constitution and our laws. And that was Anna, and I want to thank you for that every single day. And what she doesn't know is I always regard that moment and think of her as my lucky charm because she stood with me that day. So today I have the honor of serving as your mayor. And my job is to ensure that all the people that I mentioned earlier, the judiciary, the legislature, all the enforcement agencies, that we have the tools that we need and we have the convenings that are necessary to make sure that we are doing all that we can do in collaboration, to make sure that the fair, impartial, and quick dispensation of justice happens in our city. We're here to deter crime, enforce the law, and resolve the many issues that are brought before us. You point out to us many times things that we can do on the executive side. We learn together things that we can do on the legislative side. And we are fortunate in our city to have many people, smart people, caring people, people committed to justice to make sure that that important work gets done. We have a strong bench here. Wonderful judges, outstanding lawyers, and a pipeline of people who want to do the right thing for our city in the names of fairness, equity, and justice. So as I am proud to be your mayor, and I'm proud to share with you a focus on the values that make our city great. And now more than ever, members of the court will be called on to protect and fight for those values. And we know that Anna Blackburne-Rigsby is a woman, a jurist up for that job. Congratulations, Judge.
Thank you very much, Mayor Bowser. We're now going to have some remarks, and I understand they've all been given their instructions by Chief Judge Designate Blackburne-Rigsby, and I'm going to ask Dr. Catherine Zeno to come forward first to present remarks.
Good afternoon, distinguished guests, judges of the courts, family, friends, and my dearest sister friend, Anna, the Honorable Anna Blackburne-Rigsby. I was delighted when Anna asked me to speak today, but I'll have to tell you I was a bit surprised. You see, Anna and I go way back. So if you will indulge me, I'd like to reflect on Anna, the early years. It was August 1979. The first week on campus, and I was invited to someone's room. Another freshman from New York City was hosting a party. When I arrived, the door was wide open, and people were inside, some sitting in a circle on the floor, others sitting on the bed, others standing there talking. It was there that I had my first Anna Blackburne encounter. Anna, in her afro, was walking around the room, greeting everyone and engaging in conversation, and making sure everyone, it would help if I had my glasses on, and she was making sure that people were getting to know each other. Anna led us in games that we would now call icebreakers that made us mingle and reveal personal insights. People to People was one of the games I remember, and I later learned that that was a game that Anna would play at youth retreats with the NAACP. Almost everything I know about Anna, I learned that night. At the party, we discussed the upcoming presidential election, a rally scheduled in Richmond for the Wilmington 10, the KKK that was going to march in downtown Durham, North Carolina, yes, just blocks away from Duke University's East Campus. During that evening, I knew I liked this woman. I liked her confidence, sense of community, and knew Anna was someone I wanted to get to know better. In those brief few hours, I witnessed Anna's traits, intrinsic traits, and characteristics which are embedded in her core. We have probably all read, and we'll hear a lot more today, about those traits and characteristics that we celebrate today. But I'd like to proffer that these traits and characteristics have only expanded and have been shared now with so many, as evidenced by the overflow of guests here today. Anna is intelligent, gracious, caring, and inspirational. I saw indication of that over 38 years ago. So I'm not surprised about Anna's accomplishments that are being celebrated today, but I am very proud of the way that she has carried out these accomplishments, reflecting the same core traits and characteristics that I experienced the very first time I met her. Unlike today, though, there were not many inner-city African-American females at Duke University. Fortunately, Anna's intelligence was recognized, and she quickly became a leader on campus, introducing Black Solidarity Day, organizing rallies, and expertly taking on that political science department with her astute writing. Somehow, Anna knew all the right classes to take. Taking graduate-level courses in her senior year, they would meet at professors' houses over coffee. I never had classes like that. But that was the level on which Anna operated. Her convictions, sense of purpose, and passion led me, a psychology major, and others to minor in political science, and to study abroad in a foreign land, Washington, D.C., in an urban studies program at American University. Anna's intelligence was and is always displayed with such grace. Don't get me wrong, she can get her point across, but she does so after listening and considering the options. As a compassionate friend, Anna demonstrates wholeheartedly how much she cares. Anna was one of the first to visit me after the birth of each of my children. She even taught me some diapering tips, perhaps one she learned with you helping out her mom with her younger sisters. And as a true sister friend who is embraced by my entire family, Anna was with me every step of the way. Through my mother's illness and ultimately her passing, Anna came to my house not only to help me grieve, but she did laundry. Auntie Anna, as she is known to my children, shows them what true friendship is about, caring that goes beyond the norm and the superficial. It's the uplifting 7 a.m. phone call to say hello and have a good day, and those special heart-to-heart conversations that are funny, encouraging, and supportive. To say the very least, Anna, you are truly an inspiration to all, and a demonstration of the scripture that says, to whom much is given, much is expected. My sister friend, I salute you today on this momentous occasion. I look forward to hearing about even more successes, and know those successes, both personal and professional, will be achieved with your intelligence, grace, and your caring. I love you, Anna.
Professor Edelman.
Justice Sotomayor and Mayor Bowser, Chairman Mendelson, and members of the City Council, your various honors in there. Family, all these friends, what a wonderful day. What a wonderful day for our city and really for our country. I'm so pleased to have the chance to say a few words. Thank you, Anna. There is so much to say, and we all know it, and we've heard some of it about Judge Blackburne-Rigsby. But I think, I know why our new chief judge, I like how that sounds. I know why our new chief judge asked me to speak. It is because of her deep commitment to widening and deepening access to justice in our courts and in courts across the country. I've had the privilege of working closely with Judge Blackburne-Rigsby on this enormously important issue. I know firsthand her passion and her wisdom and her grace. I know from personal experience that she, along with all of her other responsibilities, will always go the extra mile for the people of whom there are far too many, who have no lawyer and have to try to find their way through a labyrinth that for them is almost impenetrable. I speak here today for all who are committed to make a difference toward improved access to justice, and I know that's everyone here. All of us are committed to make progress that Anise Wagner and Eric Washington pursued successfully in so many ways, and further progress which Chief Judge Blackburn-Rigsby will lead us to achieve in the years ahead. We have a crisis here and also everywhere in our nation, a crisis of the enormous number of litigants who struggle to represent themselves, especially in the high-volume docket courts. We have to do better. We're fortunate that we've long had committed and effective leadership toward improving access to justice in our courts, and it will continue with Judge Blackburn-Rigsby as Chief Judge. We know it. We all know it. She's already a leader on this critical matter in our city and in our nation. There are judges here, as you know, from all over the country with whom our new Chief Judge has worked. She was born to her passion. In fact, I believe before she was born. I'm told that her mother and father, their very first date was spent listening to a speech by Malcolm X in Harlem. Civil rights and politics were on the menu, I think, of almost every family meal. Anna Blackburn was destined. After all, she had role models who changed her diapers. Laura Blackburn was the first African-American elected to the bench in Queens. Mother and daughter were the first mother and daughter pair on courts of general jurisdiction. And the judging in the family continued when Anna Blackburn-Rigsby married Robert Rigsby, Judge Robert Rigsby. So, who our new Chief Judge is no accident. She was on her way before she even knew that she was on her way. And it is our good fortune that she is on her way yet again. We will keep on. You will keep us keeping on. Congratulations, Chief Judge Anna Blackburn-Rigsby.
Reverend Smith.
Judge Washington and fellow judges, to all of the leaders here assembled, and certainly to my mayor, Mayor Bowser, I'm delighted to have the opportunity to speak, especially since I bring a much different perspective than all of the legal background that has been so well noted. I've known Anna and Robert since 1974. When I'd heard that they were in town, I contacted Robert and said, I'm pastor at the Shiloh Baptist Church, and I'd like very much to just sit down and talk with you and welcome you to our congregation. And we had that meeting. A couple of years after that, they joined, which I could only assess meant that they were careful shoppers. But I have seen, and Judge Robert and Judge Anna are a team, and I get the opportunity to see them on Sunday morning when all of the legal stuff is not what they're there for, but there for spiritual refreshment. And Anna is almost always on time. except for those Sundays when she's got to bring Robert with her. But that's, but I've had the opportunity to see them not just as the great paragons, but I've seen them when illness was a challenge. Watched with and prayed with both of them when they've been in low places. I remember like it was yesterday when I first met Julian. He was just a little guy, he's all grown up now and doing great things. But I've seen the family in the most intimate of circumstances. I've talked with Anna, and she was in a very low place, both when Robert had his rather challenging illness and also some of her own illnesses. And the thing I can tell you is that the Anna that I see on Sunday morning is the same Anna that shows up on the bench on Monday morning. She is a woman of humility. Sometimes in churches like Shiloh, we're not a mega church, but it's a large church. Often we have members who kind of make cameo appearances, and they scoot out the door before interacting with anybody. But Anna will stand at the door, just a few feet from where I stand, and shake hands, and she'll be there for sometimes a half hour, just talking to people and being kind to them as they come at her for all kinds of networking favors and all of that. And she is so patient. A few years ago, Anna was the chair, and those who are African American will know how important this is. She was the chair of our Women's Day. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. You all know what that means. And I really got to see her humility. She was not trying to big shot it at all. She met committee meetings, she attended. She was supportive of the various committees that work for Women's Day. Did an outstanding job. Didn't have to do it. She could easily have said, "Oh, Reverend, I'm a judge, I've got a lot of stuff to do." But no, she took on the responsibility and did a marvelous job. So she's a woman of enormous humility and also dignity. When you see Anne in church, she's always just so graceful, beautiful outwardly and also beautiful inwardly. When she comes to church, you'd never know that she is as accomplished as she is. Tremendous dignity. Now, I must say this. The one time I am grateful when she's not dignified is, we black preachers, when you get to the end of the sermon, to what we call the hoop, you get to the, I got a couple of amens. You get to the end of the sermon, and it's what Dr. Henry Mitchell calls the climax of impression. And I can always tell when it's going well, because I'll see Anna up on her feet, and I say, "Thank you, Lord, that at least when I need some support, she's not being dignified." So, and the other thing I'd say about Anna is that she is a woman of tremendous courage. For all of that quiet and relaxed demeanor, she is not afraid of dealing with difficult issues. One of the things we love about her at Shiloh, she addresses our young people. She comes to our social justice events, has just been a real force in ways that just so incredibly helpful for our congregation. And so, Anna, I just want to congratulate you, not just from me, but on behalf of the Shiloh Baptist Church, and let you know we all love you, and we will have a reception for her at the church Sunday after church. And so come on by and see us. We'll be glad to share some of the reception with you. Anna, thank you. Robert, thank you. Two of the finest people I have ever known. We love you, and the Shiloh family wants you to know that we are just so appreciative. And as we say in church, keep on keeping on. Amen.
Dr. Jones.
Justice Washington, Justice Mayor, all protocols have been established, so I won't go any further, except to say, Anna, thank you so much for this honor and dignity to represent the family this afternoon. Good afternoon, all, friends, family, giving God the glory who was responsible for all our blessings. I don't know who developed the program, having me follow Reverend Smith, a pastor's pastor, was just unfair, but I'll try my best. My thanks to Catherine and also Professor Edelman for beautiful reflections of a cherished family member of ours. Respectfully, let me begin by saying that God's plan is always the right plan, and this event's occurrence could not have been at a more auspicious time. I want you to ponder on that for a moment. This month, we celebrate Women's History Month, following the celebration of Black History Month. This intersection has allowed some of us to pause and reflect on the legacies of struggle, sacrifice, courage, and achievements of many notable people. Timing is everything, and as we celebrate Anna this afternoon, we are reminded of another day that is being celebrated today, St. Patty's Day, again related to heritage and immigration status. Nevertheless, we won't let 45 intrude on our day, as this day represents an achievement and significant hallmark in one's career that any family member would be proud of. And you can be certain that the Diggs, Blackburns, Rigsbys, and Joneses, and the many others of our immediate and extended family share the joy and pride of our loved one, Anna. Being recognized for her distinguished service to the court and to the people of the community is just an outstanding achievement for us, and one that we cherish very much so. As Anna knows, our family has been nurtured to give thanks and honor to God, our ancestors, our families, and our communities. So it is indeed an honor to represent the family this afternoon. To my cousin and dear sister, Anna Elizabeth Blackburne-Rigsby, we truly extend our congratulations and love as a family. What an extraordinary day, and an honor for your family to witness by extension for those who could not be here, either because of illness or because as ancestors they are watching over us. All, however, are celebrating your honor, Your Honor. We thank your peers who have supported and recognized your stellar service, experience, leadership, and commitment to the underserved, and to those where sometimes justice was not blind, and where your wisdom, diligence, compassion were required and was delivered. Your achievement is reflective of the strong values and beliefs of your immediate and extended family, a family that throughout the years has fought for the underserved and forgotten. From your time as an adolescent, your time in high school and college, within your career pursuits, you have quietly, humbly, persistently embraced the struggle for human rights and social justice with a respect for the equal application of the law. This has not been by accident, as your mom and dad have been cherished role models for you. Your sisters and all of us have been there for you. Mom, a jurist, now a retired distinguished judge in her own right, and I use retired very loosely, as she continues to be on the airwaves. And your dad, in the front lines as a social worker and policy administrator, always there for you and the family. Always in the past, they would take all of us to the NAACP rallies and marches concerning social and economic justice. I remember most notably the March on Washington in 1963, which I still have a picture of you holding your dad and mom's hand. From an historical view, we know the legacies of the Constant Motleys, the Barbara Jordans, and Thurgood Marshalls. The many who have come before you, I could name many more, but we have been instructed to keep our remarks brief this afternoon, so I will comply. Although as an academician, you know I could continue on and on and on, and give you praise and reflect on the implications on the world stage. But suffice it to say that we give you praise for a remarkable achievement, that our children's children will have an historical reference in their classrooms and in their books, or should I say tablets, in the future. Let me close with a phrase from James Weldon Johnson's lyric to express our family's abiding love and respect for your accomplishment today. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Anna, you truly represent the hope and future of your family and our people for generations to come. Congratulations.
We will now have the presentation of the commission, and I'd like to recognize Judge Emmett Sullivan, a former member of this distinguished court and now a member of the United States District Court and chair of our Judicial Nomination Commission.
Thank you, Chief Judge Washington. Justice Sotomayor, Mayor, City Council Chair Phil Mendelson, other distinguished guests. Many of you may not know, but in the early 1970s, Congress, in the Home Rule Act, established a process for the city to nominate and have appointed local judges, and also created a process for the designation of chief judges of both the Superior Court and the D.C. Court of Appeals. And I like to think that it's worked extremely well since the early 1970s. I'm glad to be a small part of that process. In my capacity as chair of the Judicial Nomination Commission, and also as a former judge of this court, and indeed a proud graduate of Howard Law School, it's my honor and pleasure to, on behalf of the Judicial Nomination Commission, to present to Judge Designate Anna Blackburne-Rigsby a commission. You know, for years, the process was that the commission would meet and designate chief judges, and there was hardly a formal ceremony to memorialize it. So a few years ago, we thought we should do something to memorialize the designation of chief judge and the conferring of the extreme power on that individual. So the commission decided to create a commission. So it's my honor to present the commission to Chief Judge Designate Anna Blackburne-Rigsby. It reads as follows: The District of Columbia Judicial Nomination Commission, know ye that reposing special trust and confidence in the integrity and ability of the Honorable Anna Blackburne-Rigsby, Associate Judge of the District of Columbia Court of Appeals, the District of Columbia Judicial Nomination Commission does hereby designate her as Chief Judge of the District of Columbia Court of Appeals for the term of 4 years, effective March 18th or 17th, I'm not sure. Effective this week, and is authorized and empower her to execute and fulfill the duties of that office according to law, and to have and to hold the same office with all the powers and privileges thereunto of right appertaining unto her, subject to the conditions prescribed by law. And as chair of the Judicial Nomination Commission, Chief Judge Designate, it's my honor to present this to you.
Just so there's no confusion, some of us wanted Chief Judge Designate Blackburne-Rigsby to enjoy her day and not put the duties and responsibilities of Chief Judge on her too soon. But we are looking forward to rectifying that at this time. And so, Judge Blackburne-Rigsby, are you ready to take the oath of office?
Yes, I am.
State your name.
I, Anna Blackburne-Rigsby,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully and impartially
that I will faithfully and impartially
discharge and perform
discharge and perform
all the duties incumbent upon me
all the duties incumbent upon me
as Chief Judge
as Chief Judge
of the District of Columbia Court of Appeals,
of the District of Columbia Court of Appeals,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well
And
and
that-
faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties of the office
discharge the duties of the office
on which I am about to enter.
on which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Judge will now be robed by her son Julian Rigsby. Chief Judge, now it's time for you to take your rightful place amongst your colleagues.
It's your call.
Please be seated. Wow. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you all for being here. I have to start out, and I know the chief may fuss at me for saying this, but we have been so fortunate to have had his leadership for 12 years, 3 terms, the longest serving chief judge in our court's history, and he has been an awesome leader. Chief Judge Washington has led us with dignity and honor and has made us proud to serve under him during his 12-year tenure. And that makes big shoes to fill. But I pledge today to do my very best to my colleagues, Judge Glickman, Judge Fisher, Judge Thompson, Judge Beckwith, Judge Easterly, and Judge McLeese. I have the tremendous amount of respect for each and every one of you. And we may disagree, and we disagree from time to time. But I pledge to do my best to listen and to work with you and to work in the best interest of our court. I have to start by saying and taking a moment of personal privilege to say some very personal thank yous. And each and every one of you who've traveled here to be here with me today, bless me by your presence today, but throughout my life and the times that we've had to work together and to get to know each other. Justice Sotomayor, thank you. You honor us with your presence today, and I'm so grateful that you came out to join us for this occasion. Judge Bowser, Judge Sullivan, to our council member, Chair Mendelson, and our other council members, my council member, Brandon Todd, and my guest speakers today, a special thank you. But I have to reserve some very special thank yous. First and foremost, for my husband of 25 years, the Honorable Robert R. Rigsby. You are the most honorable and noble and courageous man I know, and I am so proud of your service to our country, both in the armed forces and as a judge on the Superior Court of the District of Columbia, for your commitment. And anyone who knows you know that you do everything 500%. and that is the love that you exhibit for me over the last 25 years, plus, and for our son Julian, and for our entire family. And it has been my greatest honor to be your wife for the last 25 years. So thank you, Robert. To our son, Julian Christopher Rigsby, he's a sophomore in college. I am proud of your courage, your authenticity, your creativity, and your brilliance. And I know that you and all of your generation will make us proud and be ready to take on the mantle of leadership very soon. And you do it already in many different ways. To Mom and Dad, you have instilled in my sisters and I values that have been with me my entire life. Faith, service to others and to our community, the value of education, and the importance of hard work in the service of others. And just your presence every step, every day of our lives is something that I cherish, and it's the greatest gift that we could ever have received. So, Mom and Dad, thank you for everything. And I'm blessed to have two beautiful and intelligent sisters, my sister Dr. Rose Blackburn and my sister Faith Blackburn, who are like friends, but they're sisters, and they are always there for me and for our family, and you know I'm always here for you all. I have many family members who are here, and I'm just going to ask you all just to stand if you can, because you are my rock and my support, and without you all, I don't know where I would be. I have a family that have come from Texas, Tennessee, Ohio, Virginia, New Jersey, and New York to be here with me today, and it means the world to me. There are so many people here who I look out and I see my colleagues from Superior Court, where I started. My court family, I have to say some very special words to. Ms. Laverne Atiba, who has been my judicial administrative assistant. Laverne, if you would stand, please. For 22 years, she has put up with me. And as I like to jokingly say, I'm a laid-back person in a type A kind of way. And so Ms. Atiba has been with me through thick and thin, and she's served our courts for, even though she's worked with me for 22 years, for over 30 years, she's served the District of Columbia courts, both at the Superior Court and here at the Court of Appeals. So thank you, Laverne. She actually held Julian when he was just an infant, and so she is family. And Mr. David Gua, who began work with me as an intern and has worked with me for now 6 years and is going to be joining me as my special counsel in the upcoming weeks. Thank you for your service and your hard work. And my law clerk, Makia Weaver, and Jeanette Acosta, who is battling an illness and couldn't be here today. And I have a fellow and law clerks and interns who are here. And then I'm blessed by so many former law clerks who are law professors, prosecutors, partners in law firms, defense attorneys, policymakers. If all of my former law clerks could just stand, because you all, I couldn't do what I do without your help. As I said, I could literally go person by person, row by row. I did want to say, General Arthur Dean, I know when we mentioned the generals, we inadvertently missed you, and you were at our wedding, and Robert's commanding officer when we were married, so thank you for being here. And to our United States Attorney, Mr. Channing Phillips, our Attorney General for the District of Columbia, Mr. Carl Racine, the Director of our Public Defender Service, Ms. Avis Buchanan, the President of the Bar, I see Anna Maria Stewart here, and so many others. My colleagues and friends from Superior Court, thank you all for being here. Some very special lady jurists are here with me today, and those are the women judges from the National Association of Women Judges who traveled from Florida, Oregon, California, New York to be here today, and it means the world to me that you did that. I won't take too much more time, but there were just a few things that I wanted to say before we depart and relax and enjoy each other's company a little bit. That each and every day, we as judges and magistrate judges and administrative law judges hear cases. And for us, it may be our 100th or our 1,000th case for the day. But for the people coming before the court to have their matters heard, it is their one case. And so what I would say to all of you here is whether you are our court security who screen people to come into the courts, you work at the information desk at the court, you work behind the desk in the clerk's office, you work in front of the desk in the clerk's office, or you're a courtroom clerk or bailiff, a magistrate, a trial judge, an appellate judge. Our challenge is day in and day out to bring our best, because for the person coming before the court for their one case where they may have waited months to come before the court, it is their moment. And your smile, your pleasant word, you're taking the time to answer their question, you're being respectful and open is to them what the court is. And so even though we are tired some days, and we will be more tired now that we will only have 7 of our 9 judges, the Superior Court is down a few judges as well. It means that we're all working harder to accomplish more without our full staffing. Just keep in mind what justice means to the people coming before us. That the judiciary, I think, is a wonderful example of what we can be, even when we disagree, that we can disagree collegially and respectfully, even when we may not give a party in front of the court exactly what that person wants, we can still be respectful and make sure they feel that they were respected, heard, and that justice was done in their case. So the role of our 3 branches of government, and Mayor Bowser alluded to this in her remarks, is even more important now than ever. That there are 3 branches of government working together to serve the people of this great nation and this capital of this great nation. The judiciary is the rock and the foundation to ensure people that the law is steady and that it is secure and that it is not subject to the shifting sands or whims. At the same time, the judiciary has to be responsive to the needs of the people that come before us. We can't get stuck in concrete or set in stone. So with that, I'll just say, bring your best each day to serve the citizens of the District of Columbia so that our courts remain open to all, trusted by all, and that we do justice for all. So thank you all so much for being here. I think we stand adjourned officially.
This honorable court of the District of Columbia Court of Appeals is now adjourned.